motherfucker! Jeez, yeah!
Remote camping leaves you entirely exposed to unpredictable encounters. Picture freezing inside a sunken camping vehicle, or hearing phantom voices echoing in the dark woods. How would you survive? On July 1st, 2021, in Mabua Sehuba, Botswana, on the Botswana side of the Kalagadi Transfrontier Park, Robert Hoffmeyer was camping with his brother-in-law, Andy. The camps there were unfenced, meaning wild animals could wander through at any moment. It was their first night. Around 6 a.m., while it was still dark, they stood outside the tent brushing their teeth and preparing coffee. Suddenly, two glowing eyes reflected back in the beam of a headlamp. A young male lion stood only about 8 meters away. They rushed into safety as quickly as they could. From inside the vehicle, he picked up his camera. Then came the moment that made his heart sink. The lion had already walked directly into the tent. Moments later, the animal emerged with a pillow clamped in its mouth.
It was in our tent, and then it came out with sitting under the tree over there.
It settled beneath a nearby tree and slowly chewed on it, the sound of tearing fabric echoing clearly through the quiet camp. After a short pause, the lion turned back again.
I really hope it was your pillow, Andy.
It was.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Mine's a similar color. Yeah, is that yours? It's covered in slobber now. Yeah, that was a bit scary. Okay, now he's gonna go and get my pillow. Oh, my dear. We got snacks.
It returned to the tent and pulled out more equipment, dragging a sleeping bag across the ground like captured prey. The two men remained motionless in the car, watching everything unfold.
Oh my goodness.
Could you just drive a bit closer, maybe? Just keep an eye out for others.
What disturbed him most later was the timing. If he had not glanced up at that exact moment, they might have noticed the lion only when it was already standing beside them.
Is that I had just happened to look in the direction the lion was approaching from. If I had not looked up, or if he had approached from behind the car or tent.
And running from a lion would have been a very bad idea. They moved the vehicle closer to the tent to block the entrance, but the lion continued circling the area, calm yet curious. When it could no longer get inside, it grabbed a camping chair and dragged it away into the bushes.
The lion continued to circle around the tent, so we moved the car as close as we could to the entrance to the tent to stop him from going in there again. While a lion in one's tent is rare, because uninformed visitors leave taps running or bowls of water out for them, rather than leaving them to live normal lives in their natural habitat. Most visitors sleep in rooftop tents or caravans, so they are relatively safe. Once the lion realized he was blocked from entering the tent, he went and grabbed my camping chair and ran off into the bushes and chewed that for a while. Eventually the lion got bored of playing with our things and moved off into the darkness.
You messaged it.
We came back a few hours later to assess the damage.
There's Andy's pillow. Got a bit of lion slobber on it. Otherwise, absolutely fine. Your pillow?
I don't think I can use this again.
Why not? 100%. Let's have a look inside the tent. He's ripped my bag open.
What?
Yeah.
Ripped your bag?
Yeah.
He's not.
The lion kept circling the tent. While a lion entering a tent is unusual, lions often wander into camps in the Mabua region. Some visitors leave taps running or place bowls of water outside, unintentionally encouraging animals to return to these unfenced campsites instead of remaining in their natural routines. Most travelers sleep in rooftop tents or caravans, which offer better protection. Eventually, after long minutes that felt like hours, the lion disappeared back into the darkness. Later that morning, they inspected the damage. The pillow was soaked in lion slobber. The bag carried deep tooth marks. The tent fabric showed several small holes. That night they chose not to sleep in the tent. Instead, they stayed inside the car. Because once a lion has already walked into your tent in the darkness, a thin layer of fabric suddenly does not feel like protection at all. In places where nature still moves freely, one small moment can decide everything. If you had stepped outside that tent and seen those eyes in the dark, what would you have done next? Metro on the Move is a YouTube channel focused on backpacking and hiking trails across the United States. His videos are usually informative and carefully produced, but in this particular upload he recorded something that, once again, could have ended very badly. He was camping in the White Mountains together with several other hikers. It was close to morning when he was suddenly awakened by something striking the outside of his tent. It did not take long for him to realize that a bear was outside, and it was actively going after the tent. He immediately began shouting in an effort to scare it away, and fortunately that worked. At least at first, the bear stepped back, but it did not completely leave the area. That was when he picked up his camera and began recording.
Oh my god, dude, I just got attacked by a bear out here. Oh my god, dude, it's got a claw mark in it. Holy, oh my god, dude.
Good morning.
Oh my god, dude. That's on my tent, dude. It attacked my tent. Hey! Oh my god.
I'm gonna call.
Yeah. Bear attacked my tent. Hey guys, wake up, guys.
He's coming to you guys.
Which way? Throw rocks.
Hit it. Where is it? Up?
Oh, he's there.
Right where?
Hey, Bear.
Bear.
No, he's up here.
Oh my god.
He's right there, just next to you. That's me. Behind you. Behind you.
Yes. No running.
No, I'm getting in the light.
Get out of here, Bear. There he is.
Hey!
Get away.
Go!
Eventually they managed to drive the bear away, but it is still terrifying how suddenly it decided to attack. It is unsettling to think about what might have happened if the bear had fully torn through the tent and reached him. Thankfully, he was not alone. Several other campers were nearby, and their presence likely helped intimidate the bear and force it to retreat. As for the person who grew curious, walked into the darkness to see where the bear had gone, and then had to run back, that was extremely dangerous. In the end, nothing serious happened. There were only a few claw marks left on the tent, and a powerful story to tell. Moments like this remind us how quickly a calm campsite can turn tense when wildlife moves too close to people. If you woke up and heard claws scraping against your tent in the dark, what would you do first? This footage comes from Sask Adrenaline, a YouTube channel centered on hunting trips where wildlife normally keeps a safe distance from people. In most of their recordings, animals remain far enough away to observe without danger. However, this time the situation changed unexpectedly. What started as a simple observation soon developed into a tense moment when the bear realized it was not alone.
What the hell do you do? Just don't move.
Coming face to face with a large bear at close range can be extremely dangerous. Even if the animal seemed curious or playful, the situation still carried serious risk. Fortunately, the bear eventually shifted its focus toward a nearby barrel. That brief distraction gave the hunters a small window to move away and get to safety. Sometimes animals simply lose interest and walk away, but sometimes the outcome depends on timing and luck. If you suddenly realized a bear had noticed you from only a few steps away, what would you do next? Connor Hobbs operates a channel where he posts videos of himself hiking mountains, camping, and surviving in different wilderness environments. His content is consistently well-produced, and many of his adventures are extremely intense. In this particular video, however, something occurred that could have become very dangerous under different circumstances. He had planned a 3-day journey along Canada's northernmost highway, intending to test the reliability of his 1992 Toyota 4Runner while camping in a tent during sub-zero temperatures. At the beginning, everything appeared to be going perfectly well.
We're just coming into Tombstone Territorial Park here, and it looks way crazier in the snow. Absolutely beautiful. We're gonna have to find some wood for my wood stove that we're gonna camp in tonight. And if that fails, then we're gonna have to cut it down a tree before we run out of trees. I don't know how sparse trees get up in the Arctic, but I guess we're gonna find out.
The first day passed smoothly. He drove along the highway, set up camp in his heated tent, and the night went by without any problems. The following morning, he woke up, packed his gear, and continued driving down the road. But this time, he soon found himself in a somewhat sketchy situation.
I've been thinking about when I'm gonna turn around or where I'm gonna camp. There's not a single tree around here. So, I'm gonna turn around here. There's no point going further north. This is the last mountain range until we get like way north, but you have to cross a ferry over the Mackenzie, which the Mackenzie's gonna be frozen soon. So, not really worth the hassle of going up there and possibly getting stuck either after the ferry or before the ferry. I'm gonna find a place to camp. Look at how far north we are. Whoa.
While searching for a place to spend the night, he left the main road to stay away from any potential people nearby. That was the moment when things started to go very wrong. On a snowy off-road track, he noticed a section of frozen water ahead and chose to drive across it, assuming it would not be deep. Unfortunately, that decision led to a serious problem.
Oh no! Oh no, 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 no. We really just fucked up. No, 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 no. Okay, we need to build a rope system to get out of here. We need to build a rope system. So stupid. There's probably water getting in the fuel tank now. We're gonna have to get out some rope stuff. I got a beefy rope. So dumb! Oh man, I'm so dumb. How am I gonna get myself... Stuff. I feel like it's like self-tensioned right now. This is fucked up, man. I'm gonna try to get the axe out.
He attempted to free the vehicle on his own, but he was not very successful. If this had happened in a more populated area, it might not have been such a serious issue. But remember, this took place in a remote region with temperatures below zero. Luckily, he was not too far from the main road, so he decided to walk there in hopes of finding help.
Now this guy's stopping, oh boy. I fucked up, man. I'm stuck over there. I broke through some ice. Could you tell somebody in the next town? I need a winch or something, like a come along or something. Yeah, it's sunk into the back, broke through some ice. All right, thank you. All right, he's gonna call in the squad.
After waiting for some time, a single truck eventually appeared, and fortunately, it stopped. The driver said he would try to send assistance and then drove away, leaving no other vehicles in sight. Everything now depended on that truck driver. Connor returned to his vehicle, realizing there was no way to know when help might actually arrive. He set up his tent and a small stove to stay warm through the night, while the freezing water around the vehicle made it impossible to pull it out. He smoked a few cigarettes to pass the time and later crawled into the tent to try to get some rest.
Woo! Well guys, it's not exactly how I was planning on my day going. My ship. There's nothing you can do but laugh, I guess. Good night, baby. Hopefully the fuel tank isn't full of water. We got the stove going. We've got a peace offering for any wolves that might come this way. They'll go for the canned food first, so it doesn't flap around, and so air doesn't just waft up into it. And inside, oh, it's nice and warm in here.
The next morning, he finally saw a truck coming toward him. Fortunately, they had arrived to help.
Hello, Jerry.
Oh yeah, just my campsite here. Not a problem. Did you hear about me from Eagle? Yeah, I've like sunk my back tire through the ice over there. So the front end is sticking out, but the back end is like below water. This part's like kind of swampy, but it's pretty frozen solid here. They were pretty stoked on my tent. They said if they get me out, they're keeping my tent. I think they're joking, but. Oh yeah!
Okay, put it in here, bud. We're actually fired up right now. Try everything right out.
Yeah, whatever I did with the keys.
Start it up. Start
Absolute legends over here. Yanked me out. I thought we might lose her there.
This turned out to be the ultimate test of reliability. The car still started, even though almost everything inside was wet. Now imagine if something like this had happened in a truly remote place, where reaching civilization would require miles of hiking through snow and ice. Or worse, if there had been no nearby settlement at all. That situation could have ended in disaster. But thankfully, it did not happen that way. The truck driver deserves full credit for keeping his word and sending help to Connor. It is also essential to let someone know where you are going, so that if you fail to return on time, they will know where to begin searching. If you were alone in that freezing place with your vehicle stuck in the ice, what would you have done next? On November 22nd, 2025, the YouTube channel Cabin Life shared a quiet but unsettling story from an off-grid cabin deep in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada. Glenn, an older man living alone on 40 acres of pine and maple forest, believed he had come there to find peace. Instead, he discovered something closer to fear. The late October air was cold and completely still. He spent time chopping wood for the stove, yet even during simple work he felt uneasy, as if someone might be watching from somewhere within the trees. He tried to settle his thoughts. He read beside the fire, played his native flute, and tapped rhythms on his tabla drum. Days passed, and the forest remained strangely quiet. Then, near the pond behind the cabin, something changed. At first it was faint, a strange sound coming from deeper in the trees. He stopped and listened. The wind was calm and no birds were calling. Then it happened again. A sharp noise that did not sound like wind or branches. He sat and listened. He tried to convince himself it was small, maybe just an animal moving around. Then a louder crack echoed from the woods.
Hello? I don't know.
A moose, a bear, a lost hunter, or something that did not belong there at all. The pond no longer felt peaceful. The cabin no longer felt safe. From that day forward, he never fully relaxed again. Because sometimes the most frightening thing is not what a person sees. It is what they never truly see. If you were alone in a cabin and heard something moving just beyond the trees, would you go outside to look or stay inside and wait? Adam is a content creator who dedicates his channel to sharing many of his personal interests. He frequently uploads videos about bushcraft, firearm reviews, and sometimes even music. However, the content that attracts the most attention comes from his wilderness adventures, where he builds shelters and spends nights camping deep in the wild. In this particular video, though, he encountered a situation that carried real danger while he was trekking through the forest.
Today we're going to explore some part of the wilderness that I've never explored before. Summer, a logging company came in and they must have got a pretty large wood permit because they cut about a 15-mile logging trail in a part of the woods I've never explored, or I doubt many people have explored. So today we're going to go out there to that logging trail, and I got the all-wheel drive vehicle, and then we're going to go explore the woods.
He eventually reached the forest area, parked his vehicle, and began hiking farther into the wilderness.
Beautiful country here. We're gonna keep hiking, got the map, and we're gonna get the high elevation because there's a lot of swampy areas here. So we're gonna try to hit high elevation and hike through this as high as we can. Been going for about an hour now, getting a little tired. So I think I might take a break, eat a snack, then head back. I've been staying.
After walking for about an hour, he started feeling a bit tired. So he decided to stop for a short break, eat a snack, and then begin heading back. He sat near a fallen tree and lit a small fire while examining the map he had brought with him. What he did not realize at that moment was that something in the forest was watching him and slowly moving closer. That was when the situation suddenly turned unsettling.
Right now I'm over here somewhere. I'm off the map, so I'm gonna have to get back into my, this is really hard to see in the camera, guys, but I'm gonna have to get back into my topo map area so I can, again, I do have a compass, so if worse comes to worse, I'll just head in the direction of that logging road. Battery died there. So I do have another, okay, I'm gonna get moving here. All right, so I'm gonna get moving, guys. I'll check in with in a little bit, okay?
He tried to figure out exactly where he was and how to return safely, using the map, terrain association, and a compass. Instead of retracing the same path he had taken earlier, he chose to move toward the logging road. While preparing to leave the area, he suddenly noticed that a bear was nearby.
Motherfucker! Go, get it! So, I'm pretty sure I know where I'm at. I got good sun here, so I'm not going back the way I came. I'm going south, and I'll hit the logging trail, and I'm just gonna fucking walk the logging trail to wherever I parked, which should be fucking when I'm on the trail. It should be east of where I'm at right now. I'm not even gonna try to go back the way I came. Guys, I've fucking never had that happen before. I mean, I saw him, and then he was gone, and I was good to go, and I was kind of backtracking a little bit, but staying quite a distance from the way I came in. And then I fucking had a little fire, and then I fucking heard some shit, so fucking, you know, kind of packed up there, and then I thought it was just fucking the wind. So I was just taking my time, and then fucking I turn around and he's fucking there. So we fucking a couple warning shots on that motherfucker, and that did it. I mean, you shouldn't fucking do warning shots on a bear because they get desensitized to it. So you're not supposed to do that. Any hike, I mean, they're the fucking first.
The animal appeared without warning, which startled him. He fired warning shots to scare it away. Fortunately, the bear became frightened and turned back, running into the forest. He fired several warning shots, which in some cases can actually make a bear more aggressive. But this time the sound worked and scared the animal off. This is why it is important to always carry some form of protection when traveling through remote wilderness areas. You never know when you might encounter a bear that is not calm, and being able to defend yourself can make a major difference. During the encounter, he slightly injured his arm, but the injury was not serious. The situation could have been far worse if the bear had managed to reach him. If you were alone in that forest and suddenly realized a bear was watching you, what would you do next? On October 31st, 2025, the YouTube channel Live 2-Day Wonderland uploaded a video filmed in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, deep inside a national forest where they said no one else was camping. At first, everything appeared calm and peaceful, but small, strange things had already begun.
Are you done acting like a maniac?
He explained that something had been moving around their tent the night before. He believed it might have been an animal, but he was not completely sure. The forest felt unusually quiet. Later that evening, after returning from hiking, the atmosphere began to feel more uncomfortable. While cooking dinner, she suddenly mentioned hearing someone talking. There were no houses nearby and no campsites close to them, only empty roads and trees.
I think this is the first time we put the pellet stove in here. It worked out great. It was really hot in here last night. Clear plastic tarp we bought so we can have a view. Inflatable tents overseas all have these windows, that you can see out, and we like that. You want to see the nature.
It's too dark. I think we were talking about maybe doing a couple of areas. I think that would be really nice. And there's nobody else here.
Yeah, free camping because it's off season. In the UP National Forest, late fall leaves. There's still a good amount of color.
I had to put her up when you're cooking. It's just I don't want her to get burnt. She gets too close to the stove.
The water's amazing. There's a little island over here that they claim.
That was what made it more unsettling. If no car had driven into the area, how could someone have reached them? She looked uneasy and kept saying the situation felt strange. Both of them agreed that no one should have been there.
And, of course, happy Halloween. It was a little creepy out here last night, and there was something in our tent when we were animal, I suppose.
A lot of rummaging. I don't know what was going on.
And there's definitely
There's nobody else out here?
Yeah. Really good.
Then something else happened. They noticed lights sitting across the water. The lights were not moving. They were simply there. It was strange because they were supposed to be completely alone. In the darkness, she asked for a flashlight. Suddenly, her tone changed, and she said something had run into something nearby. She sounded serious, and he asked if she was certain.
Yeah, but you never heard a car. It's a little too quiet here.
There's not even like campsites over there, or even like a place to camp.
No, that's by the bull lodge, but you never heard anyone drive up. And now you just hear voices. Ooh, it's getting chilly. Yeah, I heard someone talking. But now you don't hear it.
I don't like being by myself, so...
I'm not. You heard the voice. Some lady talking, but not. We never heard a car drive up. And there's no houses anywhere. Dead woods. What?
Give me the flashlight.
What?
Give me the flashlight.
Why?
It's really dark, and there's like little lights up here, and I want the light.
Kind of weird. What are you talking about?
I'm dead serious.
Are you serious? Ran into... What are you sure?
I'm dead serious.
Hopefully not a bear.
There were no clear answers, no clear footsteps, and no clear voices recorded on camera, only tension in their voices. The next morning, they tried to laugh it off, but the lights were still sitting across the water. They never explained the voice. They never explained the lights. They never explained what moved near their campsite. And that is what makes the story unsettling. Because sometimes in a forest that feels too quiet, the most frightening part is not what you see, it is what you hear when no one should be there. If you were camping alone in a place like that and suddenly heard voices where no one should be, what would you think was really out there? This case took place on April 12, 2020. The YouTube channel The Outdoor Experience shared footage from a camping trip in an open field inside Sugar Creek State Forest. What began as a normal camping trip slowly started to feel strange. The field looked calm at first, wide and quiet. He mentioned that it seemed like a perfect place to camp. But the open space also felt exposed, because nothing could hide there, yet anything could be watching.
I need to get my phone out, look at exactly where I'm at on the map, because there might be a possibility to get back up to the Rock Road from here. And it might just be a little bit flatter and easier to get out, maybe about 10 minutes. Got all the stuff there, and I think we're going to set up right around this area. It's pretty flat here, and it looks out over the field. Nice view.
It did not take long to reach the area, maybe about 10 minutes. All of the gear was brought out there, and he decided to set up camp around that spot. The ground was fairly flat and overlooked the field. The tent was large, almost too large for the empty space.
17 by 13, including the porch. Without the porch, the tent itself, 17 by 8. So this is the porch area, all screened in. Come in, and this is the tent. You got one side here with a window and a divider that you can hook up, and the other side over here with its own divider that you can hook up.
As night arrived, wind moved softly across the grass. The trees standing at the edge of the field remained dark and still. Then, late at night, a sound began. It sounded like someone singing into a microphone, but there were no lights, no campfire, and no people nearby. He could not figure out where the sound was coming from. At first, the voice drifted slowly across the field, steady and almost echoing. The open space made the situation feel worse. There was nowhere to hide if someone stepped out of the darkness. The next morning, in the cold air, he finally noticed something he had missed during the night. A road stood at the far end of the field, and a house was located beyond it.
Like right over there, across the road.
The voice most likely came from there. But during the night, before he knew about the house, the field did not feel safe. If you were alone in that field and heard singing in the woods with no lights anywhere, would you stay in your tent or leave the area? That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.